Look, I guess could have been worse. Not a great game. Like, this was a game where it just felt like the Fever had it. It felt like the Fever had that game. At the end, if I'm being real here, the Fever were poor in a lot of stages. They were really good in a lot of stages, and they fought back. They fought back well. First half, the best half I've seen from a player, period, was Olivia Miles in the first half for Minnesota. Kind of non-existent in the second half. But Courtney Williams took him home in the second half. Like Olivia Miles there, 28, 4 and 6. A really, really good performance by her. Again, she had 23, 4 and 5 at halftime. I thought they did a really good job in the second half on Olivia Miles. They kind of got her away from everything. And yeah, it was a tough performance. I felt like the Minnesota starters, they did what we expect them to do. They sacrificed Kayla McBride to guard Caitlin Clark. And Kayla McBride only came out with 10 points, and she'd been averaging 28 over the last couple of games. Natasha Howard, absolutely destroyed, and I mean destroyed, Aaliyah Boston. Regardless of looking at the box score, she destroyed Boston. And I thought even the likes of Dallaire, Caldwell, how they came in and gave a bit. Look, the Indiana Fever have some glaring weaknesses as a team. I thought this was by her standards, I thought this was like a 7 out of 10 game from Caitlin. I thought, other than 2 missed threes down the stretch, I thought she played really well in the fourth. I thought she was assisting. She was 1 point off another 20 and 10 game. I thought she had a decent game. Like, even if you're looking at the box score, they all kind of were, like, she was -7, they were -1 when she was off the floor, similar to Kelsey Mitchell. Mo Billings is -11. It's just, there's a glaring hole, as you can see. Like, they won the minutes where Raven Johnson, they won the 37 minutes Raven Johnson didn't play. Like, Raven Johnson is not a WNBA player. She's just not. Like, not that she's a WNBA rotation player. She's not a WNBA player, period. Like, I'd take Hams over off the Lynx over her right now. KK, really impressing me. Really impressing me. Aaliyah had 3 rebounds going into the last 2.5 minutes of that game. And I'll talk a little more about that. But Kelsey Mitchell was ridiculous. 4 quarters, 6 away from 3. She hit her shots. Annoyingly missed probably the biggest free throw of the game. And what I felt like looked like a blatant landing zone foul, they didn't call landing zone. There were a lot of times where you're like, okay, yeah, Kelsey going taking over. But like Lexi, at least for the first time in a while, Lexi Hull has had more points than fouls. Sophie Cunningham, other than she did hit a relatively big 3, didn't do much today, to be honest. But overall, like, there are positives and negatives to be taken from that game. Look, you're down 100-98, and Aaliyah Boston has just hit a 3. Aaliyah has just hit a 3 to like a couple of possessions earlier. I think it was to make it from 5-2. She has just hit a 3, or was it 8-5? And Caitlin hits her wide open, and Aaliyah Boston pump fakes, shits herself, and then she doesn't travel on a dribble. Like, she doesn't travel. The refs call it a travel. But she got called for a travel, and in the next possession, they miss a shot, and Aaliyah Boston misses the rebound, and they then kick it out and score. And then, like, Aaliyah Boston gave up 4 offensive rebounds directly under her in the last 3 minutes of this game. Caitlin missed 2 shots down the stretch. Kelsey Mitchell missed down the stretch, wide open. You're looking at this game and thinking, if one of those shots goes in, if one of Caitlin's 2 threes goes in, if Kelsey's 3 goes in, if Aaliyah doesn't forget how to play basketball down the stretch, there's a lot then. There's a lot that you could look at, and it's like, Okay. We're saying I want to blame Raven Johnson. Raven Johnson committed an inbound violation because instead of inbounding the ball, she walked onto the court. Like, she walked onto the court instead of inbounding the ball. Like, they won the 37 minutes Raven Johnson didn't play. Like, it's not her fault she's not good enough. She's just not good enough. I don't care if she went to South Carolina and she practices the right way. She's not good enough to see the floor. There's a reason she doesn't play. But no, when Caitlin and Kelsey started cooking together in that fourth quarter, they started coming back. Courtney Williams, Caitlin. Yeah, Courtney Williams. Like, unfortunately, the Fever don't have a player that you can sacrifice on defense to guard anybody. That's just unfortunate. The Fever don't have a good defender on their team. That is just unfortunate. They don't have one good defender. Aaliyah Boston may be the most overrated defender in the league. Like, she's not a good defender. She can guard Aja Wilson. She can guard Alyssa Thomas. She can't really guard anyone else. Fee gave her the business, and she just couldn't. Like, she couldn't get a rebound. Was disappointed by Caitlin Clark's defensive rebounding. It was just non-existent today. They got a couple of rebounds from her where she should have just went and got them. That was a bit disappointing. But look, you are down 100-98 with 2 minutes to go in this game. As the game goes on, the Fever had no right to be in this game. None whatsoever. The Minnesota Lynx should have ran away with this game. They were the better team on the day. They should have ran away with this game. The Indiana Fever did all the right things to come back in this game. Look, they're down 14, I think, was it in the fourth quarter? They're down 14 points with 5 minutes to go. In 3 minutes, they go on a 14-2 run. They went on a 14-2 run to get back in this game. Like, you have to, as a team, respect the Fever's ability to, like, go on those runs. And that is why you have, like, that's why Caitlin and Kelsey are so dangerous. And, like, I don't know what was wrong with Leah today. I really don't. I don't know why Mai Chanzal started playing in the second half. I really don't. But, like, it was a weird one. It was a really weird one putting her in late in that game. But you have to respect how dangerous the Indiana Fever are as a team. And I think every team will, because that game went from looking like a blowout to a 2-point game. The Fever choked. In a game where the Lynx were spectacular and the Fever felt like they were subpar. Like, it didn't feel like the Lynx were, like, it didn't feel like the Fever were in that game. It didn't feel like they belonged in the same court, but they got it back. They never let the Lynx build up too much of a lead, and they brought it back. So, like, you have to respect how dangerous this Fever team can be. And in a game where it felt like everything went right for Minnesota, like, Kelsey Mitchell shot one group of free throws off a foul, and it was a flagrant reckless closeout that wasn't called. Caitlin Clark shot 0 free throws in that game. She shot 1 off a tech. Aaliyah Boston shot 0 free throws. Caitlin and Aaliyah combined for 0 free throws. They were hacking Caitlin. And I get it. You play to the refs, and, like, if you just watch Caitlin dribbling to the halfway line, there was 2 hands on her every time. Like, they were allowed to play prison rules. And look, you know the game gets tougher in the playoffs. That's maybe the atmosphere here, but it didn't go the opposite way for the Fever. Anytime the Fever looked to the player from the Lynx, like Sophie Cunningham, unfortunately, her face got in the way of a flying elbow from Nia Coffey, and the refs calls a foul on Sophie Cunningham instead of a flagrant foul on Nia Coffey. And yeah, like, it was rough. It was a bit rough, but it was look, it was a game where if you are a Fever fan, you come out of that being like, we're in their home court. We are less rested. We were down 14. We came back. The Minnesota Lynx, shout out Courtney Williams for tough shot making. But, like, the Minnesota Lynx did not look like they could keep up with the Indiana Fever for 4 quarters. It didn't. If the Lynx had not built up a 15-point lead, they were gassed. Like, teams cannot keep up with the Fever's pace. They cannot keep up. And this was a 6.5 out of 10 game for Caitlin. I'll say 9.8 out of 10 game for Kelsey Mitchell. And a 3 out of 10 game for Aaliyah Boston. And you're still within touching distance in a game where none of your supporting cast outside of KK Timpson played well. Nobody other than KK played well. This is a game where only Caitlin, only Kelsey and KK played well on your team. And if you look at the Lynx, Fee was grand. Fee was fine. I thought Caldwell played well. I thought McBride did a great job on defense. She sacrificed offense for defense. I thought Howard played well. I thought Miles was spectacular, and so was Courtney Williams. When you add everything together, and the Fever still nearly won this game, it does bode well for the playoffs. And teams, the Fever off a little rest. This is playoff rest. They had a 36-hour break. They went for a 1 p.m. Eastern time. They went for a 10 a.m. game after 2 nights ago playing a 10 p.m. game. They essentially played a back-to-back. And Minnesota have had multiple days rest. And again, they're the best team in the league. They are the best team in the league. Someone just said Caitlin Clark cannot guard Courtney Williams. Yeah, no shit. Unfortunately, Lexi Hull was not trusted to guard anybody. Our defender was put on Kayla McBride, who did not play offense because she was so focused on guarding Caitlin. Unfortunately, Caitlin had to guard Courtney because, the defender can't defend. It is what it is. And look, if I'm the Indiana, today, my opinion is that the Lynx are the best team in the league. The second best team in the league are the Indiana Fever. And I don't come out of today with a different opinion. I come out of the opinion of an Indiana Fever team playing what I believe was 70% of their best, if even 70%. And the Lynx, I think, playing at 90% of their best. The Fever scored 100 points, sleptwalk to 100 points. As a team, that's tough to beat long term. It really, really is.